with one of two prominent Sri Lankan artists who have been in the forefront of Sri Lankan music, bringing them to international fore, and they have something to share with us, what they want to give and what they have to give to this momentous event for Sri Lankan Scouting as well, and we'll have a look into that in a bit. I want to follow up on the regional movement again. Mr. Rashid, can you explain to me, when it comes to a jamboree, what kind of differences are there in, as you said, a developed country's jamboree? Is there something that Sri Lanka should develop also in the future with regard to these things, or have we achieved that certain level?
Yes, Sri Lanka has achieved a lot over the past. When I say developed and developing is because naturally campsite itself, in the developed countries you have more better established facilities to cater to a large number. And even for Sri Lanka also, although they have been having annual national jamboree, it's very different than compared to a national jamboree to cater to an international group. So that is why you need additional planning and management, and there are a lot of other aspects which are normally not looked into at a national one, but when it comes to regional aspects today, being a very complex society, we have to have a lot of other aspects looked into,
Yes.
like safety, health and sanitation, and emergency measures, rescue operations and all that. So in that way, now the developing countries are coming up, whereas some of these aspects are very much already built into the system in the developed countries.
Thank you. We now have the clip I was talking to you about, what Bhatya and Santosh, previous scouts, have to tribute to the scouting movement of Sri Lanka celebrating 100 years. Let's have a look at that.
Didula Shata Sanvatsare Asia Pacific Kare Gini Nala Dalva Sema Me Baladaksha Virayo Nasidena Shaktiyan Lova Madhura. Jive dinu same vidagamina hata betina dalvu mane nete pahase kandu matina nidu magalana jorikale Barurastile Asia Pasurikengo Timuti Mundraya Daivarume Ilaya Vetri Virargal Valakidam Shaktiye Ulagengume.
There we have Bhatya and Santosh giving their tribute. Wonderful to see the beauties of Sri Lanka being put out in that video, the trilingual quality as well, the Sinhala and the Tamil languages coming into the song, and what we are going to give a little glimpse of what Sri Lanka has to offer at the International Jamboree. We also have something very interesting coming up, a former scout, not from the entertainment field but from the political side, coming up to give a bit about what he had to do. Continuing on, I would like to ask Mr. Rashid a bit about something in general. What does scouting give a man in life?
Well, scouting is basically an educational movement, and it is related to overall development of the child. We have a wholesome, we call it as a wholesome development, not only what you learn in a school within a classroom, but more outdoor activities, self-reliance, all doing it by yourself, giving the confidence of self-reliance towards your own self as you grow up. So that is basically the hands-on experience, the knowledge, cooking for yourself, doing things like that, sleeping on your own when you are a child of about even 12 years, 11 years, traveling on your own, being with colleagues, with your peer groups, and that builds up a lot of personality. So it's a wholesome personality development that relates to every aspect of an individual. So that's why I think today we are very proud to hear some very leading personalities saying what I am today is because of scouting.
Leading up on that, Mr. Rashid, we now have the Honorable Minister Naveen Dissanayake, Minister of State Management Reforms, to talk a bit about what he was in scouting and what he has done. Good morning, Minister. Harit Dimal speaking from Good Morning Sri Lanka.
Good morning to you. Very nice to be on our program.
Good morning, sir. Can you tell us, sir, a bit about your scouting experiences? How was it when you were in scouting, and what were you up to in your day?
Yes, I started scouting in my old school, St. Francis Prep, Pulupitia. I think in grade 2 or 3. And I remember my first master was a very distinguished gentleman called Mr. Veragoda. So we started scouting with him, and he initiated me into the scout movement. So if I remember correctly, we used to have scouting about twice or thrice a week. And we started with the basic things. And then we started going on jamborees and going on camps.
I see.
So it was a very fruitful and a very thrilling experience. And like the first speaker who was speaking before me, I couldn't catch his name.
Yes.
But I would share his views and say that it builds up bonds and friendship. And it also kind of brings up the team spirit attitude, because you all have to work together to fulfill objectives.
I see.
So I have very pleasant experiences.
Minister,
and I'm very happy that
I have to interrupt. Yes. Continuing on that, Minister, can you tell us a bit about what advice you would give to current scouts, as from a former scout to a current scout? What would you tell them? What should they be? What should they achieve? What should they get from the movement?
No, it all depends on if you want to get the best out of the scout movement. It all depends on what you put into it. So if you kind of get into the spirit of the scout movement, what Lord Baden-Powell wanted, then you must just get into it and flow with it, and really enjoy it. I mean, that's all I have to say, because if you really enjoy it, then that the trust and the bonds of friendship that you get with your fellow scouts also comes into it. And also, the international dimension of scouting now, the Jamboree, I think the 100-day convention, the scouting movement Jamboree that's starting on the 30th, it's going to have, I think, the whole of the Asian countries coming.
That's right.
So it really is a very proud and historic occasion for Sri Lanka.
Yes.
And I really wish the scout movement well.
Thank you very much, Mr. Naveen Dissanayake. Thank you for your opinions, and thank you for appearing and giving your valuable time for us on the show.
Thank you for having me. Bye.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Indeed, Mr. Fernando, you see a gentleman of his caliber, Bhatia and Santosh, so many corporates, so many people coming in. And we'll head back from this discussion and head on to a bit more about the scouting movement, and we'll return after the break.